Welcome to the Realistic Careers podcast with Tammy Ballas. I'm a recruiter and career consultant in the Australian job market, and I help people get jobs. Now, before we get into today's episode, I just want to say this is not advice. These are just my experiences and opinions. I've worked in HR and recruitment for years, and I've gotten so many DMs asking for my thoughts on workplace bullying. So here it is, straight from me, unfiltered. So let's start with what isn't bullying. A lot of people blur the lines between being managed and being bullied. And I understand sometimes feedback can feel personal, but it's not always bullying. Giving feedback, especially constructive feedback, isn't bullying. Your boss saying, hey, you need to improve your time management, isn't an attack. It's part of your job development. Telling you that you're late, that's accountability, not bullying. Telling you to hurry up. Again, it might be bluntly said, but if you're in a fast-paced environment like hospitality, healthcare, or retail, it's about efficiency and speed. Telling you that you need training or coaching, that's an opportunity to grow, not criticism. Holding you to your performance standards. If your manager expects you to meet deadlines or follow policy, that's not bullying, that's leadership. Even disciplinary action can be fair if consistent and justified. What matters is how it's delivered. Tone, respect, consistency make the difference. A professional conversation, even if uncomfortable, isn't bullying. So what is bullying? Now, real bullying in the workplace looks very different. It's about power, intent, and repetition. Some examples are isolation, when you're being deliberately left out of meetings, group chats, or social activities. Ganging up, when colleagues form cliques or spread rumours to make you feel excluded and uncomfortable. Gatekeeping, when a manager withholds information or opportunities to make you fail or look bad. Favoritism, when one person is constantly rewarded or protected while others are being dismissed and ignored. Public humiliation, being yelled at, mocked or criticised in front of others. Undermining your work, taking credit for your achievements, or setting unrealistic expectations. Micromanagement with intent to control, not to support, but to intimidate. Retaliation, being punished for speaking up or raising concerns. It's not always loud or obvious, sometimes it's quiet. The cold shoulder, the whispers, the inclusions. In my opinion, that's still bullying. So why does bullying happen? There's usually more that's going on beneath the surface that you can't see. In my opinion, the reasons are insecurity. Some people feel threatened by others who are more competent, confident, or well-liked. Fear. A manager might worry about losing control or being exposed for poor leadership. Bad hiring decisions. Sometimes a manager knows they hired the wrong person, and instead of addressing it, they make the employee's life miserable to push them out. Stress and burnout. People under pressure can lash out and take it out on others. Toxic culture. If leadership tolerates this bad behaviour, it trickles down. Bullying becomes the normal. Lack of emotional intelligence. Some people genuinely don't realise their behaviour is damaging to others. And sometimes people are just mean. Sadly, some individuals enjoy holding power over others. None of these exclusions make it right, but understanding why it happens can help you decide on how to respond. So, what can you do about it? If you're in this situation, here are some options. Again, just my opinions based on experience. Try talking to the person directly. Sometimes people don't realise their behaviour is hurtful. Sit them down, calmly explain what's been happening and how it makes you feel. Give them a chance to respond. You might be surprised. If that doesn't work, escalate it. Go to your manager or their manager. Explain what's going on factually, not emotionally. Use examples, dates, and specifics. Go to HR or people and culture. If the situation continues, HR should help you set up a plan or mediation process. Be honest, clear, and bring your notes. Keep records. Write down dates, times, what was said, who was there, emails, messages, screenshots. Keep everything. It's not about revenge, it's about protecting yourself. If things get serious, so if it's affecting your mental health, or it's clearly harassment, speak to an employment lawyer or contact the Fair Work Ombudsman. You have rights. The reality is that workplaces don't always change, which brings me to my next point. What I usually say is leave. People aren't happy when I say this, but if the environment is toxic and it's not improving, leave. Before it gets nasty, before it damages your confidence, walk away, protect your peace. Because this is the truth. Unless someone's done something illegal or it's a massive HR issue, people in powerful positions rarely get fired for bullying. And that's the sad reality. You can't always control the situation, but you can control your response. Sometimes it's not you, it's just an awful workplace. And sometimes it's just a tough one. There are brutal and harsh industries, working in kitchens, hospitals, high pressure sales, where the culture is rough, the language is sharp, but at the end of the day, everyone laughs, hugs, and goes out for a drink. That's not bullying, that's culture. And it's not for everyone. That's okay. So here are my final thoughts. Again, these are just my opinions. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a lawyer. This isn't advice. I'm just speaking from experience as someone who's worked in HR and recruitment for years, and I've seen both sides of the coin, and I've experienced bullying myself. If you're struggling, please reach out for help. Lifeline 131114 or go to headspace.org.au. You don't have to go through it alone. Thank you for listening to this podcast. And if it resonated with you, please follow and subscribe to the Realistic Careers podcast with Tammy Ballas on all streaming platforms. And if you're in the job market, I hope you get hired soon.